In this video, I'm going to share with you how to stay fit. Now, I'm guessing if you stumbled on this video, you are already fit. But even if you're not already fit, I'm going to share with you what to do to get fit and then how to stay fit, because those are two different things, okay? And most people blend them all together, but it's actually two separate things, okay? So right now, if you're watching this video and you don't currently work out, here's what you need to be doing. And I'm going to share with you what you need to be doing if you do currently work out and how to continue that. So first of all, if you don't currently work out, what you need to do is you don't necessarily need to go to the gym, okay? That's what everyone tells you to do. But what I would recommend, based on my experience being a health coach, is I'd recommend you find a movement practice that you enjoy. Now, what does that look like? What does that mean? That means any movement practice, like for example, tennis, yoga, soccer, rugby, whatever movement practice you enjoy, martial arts, right? Boxing, Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu. I do Jiu-Jitsu, right? Whatever you enjoy doing and it helps you get a sweat on, focus on that first, okay? Because the first step is to get you moving, okay? That's the most important thing, is let's get you in the habit of moving your body more. How about that, right? That's the first step. And then you can actually go and branch off and go to the gym. Because, you know, in my experience, coaching lots of people, lots of entrepreneurs, CEOs, a lot of people don't actually like going to the gym and lifting weights. They find that very boring, right? So if you find lifting weights boring, how long are you going to continue that for? Not very long, right? So what I advise people to do is just to find a movement practice, number one. Okay, so now you got that. Let's say you're playing tennis 3 times a week. You're playing basketball 3 times a week, right? Perfect. 3 times a week is the minimum amount of time I would recommend you do this activity for, right? Anything more than that is perfect, but 3 times a week minimum, all right? And then you can start adding on more stuff after you've established that habit, all right? So that's the first thing you should be thinking about, is like, all right, I want to play tennis. All right, how many times a week am I going to play tennis? Minimum 3 times a week. What days am I going to be playing tennis, for example, okay? And then from there, you go into becoming fitter because you're doing some sport, some physical activity every week. And then the next step is you can start going to the gym. So how do you stay fit? Well, how do you stay fit and how do you get fit is kind of the same answer. You have a movement practice. That's it, right? Something that you enjoy doing. Because if you're not going to enjoy it, you're not going to continue it, okay? So for me, jiu-jitsu is a movement practice that I enjoy, right? I get so many things from it, not just moving my body and becoming fitter. I'm also getting the social interaction. I'm building meaningful relationships and I'm learning more about myself. You know, I'm facing challenges and overcoming them. I'm challenging my brain, I'm growing, you know, so it ticks many boxes. And this is something that, there's a book, one of my favorite books is called How to Get Rich by Felix Dennis. And he said that one of the biggest mistakes he made in his life was amassing all this wealth and not having a hobby. Because what that did was made him go down the road of drugs, sex, and rock and roll, because he didn't have anything to take his mind away from work when he wasn't working. So literally he would work, and then because he didn't have any fun in his life, the only fun that he foresaw was to go and get drunk and do a lot of drugs and have a lot of sex with lots of different girls, right? And you know, there's nothing wrong with like having lots of sex, but that was the only thing that he did in his life to meet his need for fun, okay? And it wasn't until he found poetry that he realized that, you know, he didn't actually need all that stuff. He found joy in something very simple that gave him a lot of happiness, which is writing poems. And so this is something that I'm telling all my entrepreneur clients is you need to find a hobby that you really enjoy, okay? Because otherwise, if you're working so much and then you go and have fun, your fun will be the fun that is actually ruining your body, okay? Like the drugs and the alcohol and all that kind of stuff, right? So how to stay fit is literally just finding a movement practice and doing that, okay? And if you love going to the gym, you love working out, go and do that. Why not, right? But minimum 3 times a week, because strength training is something that I really advocate. So once you've gotten past that initial hump of, you know, picking up a movement practice, now you need to add in some strength training, okay? Because just playing tennis is not going to cut it, okay? You need to actually start building some strength. So that's actually something I would say to most people, is to start having some sort of strength training routine every week, okay? And I advise 3 times a week because that is going to really keep your muscles healthy and keep your body feeling strong. You're going to feel good within your body because you actually have strength in your ranges of motion, which is going to make for a more robust body, and you're actually going to have less problems when you grow older. So less back pain, less hip problems, and all these kind of things, because you have a robust body, because you're working on your weak links and strengthening them. Because muscle is the organ of longevity, and that's how you stay fit, my friends. Picking up a movement practice and doing strength training. That's pretty much it. If you can do that every single week for the rest of your life, you'll be fit and healthy, and you won't have any issues with your body. And another thing that I'm doing personally is I'm doing lots of flexibility training now. So mobility training, like just stretching, increasing my range of motion, because that is something that's going to help me a lot. And less sitting. Right now I'm sitting, but trying to do less sitting and, more sitting in a deep squat with my heels down, my butt down, arse to grass, squats, all that kind of stuff. So really getting that mobility in the hips, knees, ankles, all that kind of stuff. So that's what I want to share with you, and I hope you found this helpful. Go ahead and implement these tips. Find a movement practice. That's priority number one, and then start strength training 3 times a week, doing the compound lifts. And then if you want, number 3 is to add in mobility and flexibility to your routine, to your practice. Now, if you do yoga, you're pretty much covering all these bases. So that's why yoga is so amazing, and it's also mentally beneficial for your health as well. So that's something that I do sometimes. I've got my yoga blocks here, and you can see my yoga blocks. So I'm doing all this stuff. So enjoy implementing these 3 things, and I'll talk to you soon.